Hello everyone, it's Kylie. Before I start this flip through of these three pink Shabby Chic journals that I've made, I just want to say a warm welcome to any new subscribers. I do appreciate people subscribing and liking my videos. And a big long distance hug to all of my regular viewers. You know I appreciate you. Especially all the gorgeous comments that you write. They do make a big difference. So yes, a little change to the start of my videos because I think I launch into the business side of things too soon, and yeah, so just trying to be more relaxed at the start and not babble too much because that's boring. Okay, so these three journals are pink. They're Shabby Chic. I really enjoyed making them. They are essentially the same. The only difference really is that one has a little leaf on that cluster. This one has a little rose, and this one has a little pearl sort of bubble. So I'm going to try and differentiate them in the Etsy listing, but yeah, they're pretty much the same. So the flip through will be more detailed in the first one, and then the other two will be a little bit more relaxed and hopefully faster. So without further ado, let's get started. Lots of different elements on these journals. They are A6 sized, so a bit bigger than a postcard, or a quarter of an A4 size. Really sweet canvas style butterfly print fabric on the back cover and the front cover, and I have layered up the front with some beautiful tulle lace. And the spine is layered as well, so it has a pink stripy fabric underneath, and then a really sweet sort of cotton lace over the top. 4 signatures, about 80 pages to journal on. This is actually macrame string that I got from an Australian store, Mary Maker Studio. I will link that shop in the description. Beautiful color, and I just love the thickness. When I received my order, I looked at it and thought, oh god, that's a bit too big for tags, because that was originally what I intended to use it for. And then I realized that the color matched perfectly to these journals, so it became a closure. What I will do is move these other two little girls out of the way. On the front, there is a cluster with all different sorts of laces and fabrics, and I have just pinned a little pink pom-pom. I call it a pom-pom. It's a little fuzzy thing at the bottom there because it's just cute. I am probably going to put a wax seal on that little dangle as well, so easy to take all of that off if you don't like it. And we also have our signature beads, glass crystals or glass faceted beads on the spine. Lots of dangly frou in these little ones. So inside it is fabric lined with a spotted, pink and white spotted fabric, so super cute. These were just so, after making the sister journals, they were quite grungy, and there was a lot going on, and I pushed myself. It was just nice to pair back to my favorite color to work with and go from there. So a little pocket here in the front. This is one of the layered tags that I have a craft with me on, and I have put one in each of the journals with a little glass button at the top there. So if you're interested to see how I've put this together, there is a video on my channel. Avocado dyed papers throughout because they're pink. I've put so much pink and white in here. I'd say it's an overload, but can you ever overload with pink? I don't know. If you're a Shabby Chicer, no. The answer is definitely no. So a pocket there. I was just going to leave these loose, but then I thought, well, actually they serve more of a purpose if they're turned into a pocket. A paper doily, a little lace tab with some fabric, so it's sort of a cluster, and that's a beaded charm there. A ruffle on this page with another ruffle. I hand stitched these second layers on, and that is a bow with a rose. Beautiful onion skin paper. I didn't put a lot of vintage or antique ephemera in these journals because they usually have a very aged patina, and I wanted these to be light and fluffy, but I couldn't go past putting some of that in. A tab at the top here with a white bow. Lots of journaling space and lots of space to tuck your special things. So some vintage music paper there. I have this attached with a little Tim Holtz paper clip, and this comes off. It is a flip book. So avocado dyed paper, fabric machine stitched on. That's actually some more cotton yarn. I'm not a macrame artist, so I do sincerely apologize if I'm saying it wrong, but I have a lot of that. So I love the look of this in my craft room, so I'm not disappointed at all in ordering it. But I'm going to be using a fair amount of it in my journals, I think. Lovely colour though. So I just punched 2 holes at the top and threaded that through. And that is a player's card and a vintage bingo card. And I have stitched the player's card on. There are a couple of tea-stained pages. And so 4 pages if you count the back. And that's what the back looks like. So the pages are stitched on. If you would like, I can do a little tutorial on how I made this, but there are quite a lot. Well, not a tutorial, I can do a craft with me if you'd like to see how I just made that. There are a lot on YouTube, but I'm happy to take requests at this point because that just helps me work out. There, just the signature beads up close. Just helps me work out what else I can do little craft with me's on. A lace dangle attached to the top there for something a bit fun. This is a fabric tag, the same fabric as the front cover, with a little lace ruffle at the top there and avocado dyed paper on the back. So plenty of journaling space in a lace pocket. The other side of that doily, and this is the other side of that broderie lace that wraps around the whole signature. I am really liking that idea. This is the start of the next signature with some beautiful Swiss lace. A ruffle with a hand stitched on trim. This is a vintage envelope, so it's a double pocket. It's a pocket behind, a pocket and a pocket inside the envelope, and it's quite a long one, so it goes all the way down to the bottom, and that's a first day of issue envelope from the US. Massachusetts is the state that's from, 1982, and it just has a beautiful texture to it. Another lace pocket with a collage tag. This is collaged with vintage wallpaper, and a little tab at the top, and that's the back. So that was a little bit fun to do that. I had an interesting situation. So I made my typical tags for my larger journals because sometimes you go into autopilot when you're creating, and not that you're sort of doing that for the collaging part, but when I was cutting the tags out, I wasn't thinking, and then I had to cut them down to fit into the smaller journal because they wouldn't fit. I had a moment of, oh no, because I'd made them all for all 3 journals. So there was a lot of cutting and sewing again. 2 tuck spots on this vintage music paper. They all worked out fine though, so everything's okay, but it's just that moment of realization. Beautiful tab on the side here with another dangle. A lace belly band, and I have put a wax seal on here on a piece of fabric. It is glued on with permanent glue. I did that because often when you put something in a tuck spot, I find that it kind of moves around. So I'm hoping that that wax seal gives the tuck spot belly band some stability. Vintage wallpaper trim pocket with a lacy accent hand stitched on, and that's the rustic hand stitching on the back, and that is the other side of the signature pocket. And then we're going into the next signature, some beautiful broderie anglaise pocket there, another lace pocket, and this is a really beautiful piece of chilled raised lace with sequins, so it's sort of the trifecta of Shabby Chic. And I didn't stitch the sides down because I thought if you had something you wanted to tuck in, you could actually see it through the lace, and I thought that was just something a bit fun. And at the top here, I've used off a ribbon reel the vintage paper that was between each layer of ribbon. I didn't want to throw it out because it has a beautiful sort of vintage look, so I decided to make that into a paper ruffle at the top of the tag. So that's in that pocket. They just fit. A vintage wine label, and that is a pocket, and I've just hand stitched a little piece of lace at the bottom there. Another ruffle. This is a double lace ruffle with a bow, and book page there for something a bit different. They're the signature beads, so you could definitely collage over the top of that. Lace pocket here for you to put your things in, a tab with a white bow, and this is then another beaded dangle. I love these beaded dangles. They're just so pretty and feminine. A cutout trim belly band with a library card, and I've just fussy cut and put a butterfly on there, and I did forget its antennae, so I would just put those on now because otherwise they look funny. Oh, that one's just a bit shorter. Okay, the world is right again. My little world anyway. Okay, and this is of course the other side of that signature on the start of this one. So lots of pink, lots of bling, well not lots of bling, some bling. More of that beautiful onion skin paper, I couldn't help myself. Another double ruffles fabric, beautiful silk ribbon and a bow. This is an embossed glassine envelope that I have sewn in. It's a tuck spot behind, so I've sewn it in all the way around, and then it's also a tuck spot inside the envelope, and I've just put a Victorian embossed Victorian scrap on the front, so double embossed. double pocket, double embossed. Beautiful piece of trim, and another beaded dangle there, and book page with orchids on it. That's a lace pocket there, very beautiful vintage lace. You can tell the difference between when a nylon lace has been made. Vintage nylon lace is typically very soft. More modern nylon lace tends to be a lot coarser and firmer, and that's just the cheapening of the production. So the firmer the nylon lace, I guess, the more modern and cheap it is. So if you ever get lace, nylon lace that's very soft, you know that it's a vintage, or it's very expensive and it's been made outside of the Asian countries that typically mass produce these sorts of things now. A ribbon, rose ribbon cluster at the top there that I've hand stitched on, and this is a fabric pocket. A tag. Now this, I will do a tutorial on this. This is my, I've decided to call it, I have my layered tags, but this is my scrap tag. I'm trying to think of a nicer name than scrap because it is the scraps. It's the scraps literally from this journal, and rather than putting them in a box to use later, I've decided to sew them onto a tag. So I laid it out, and then what I've done is I've stitched journaling card lines, so you can journal on each line, and rather than going all the way around the edge, I've just stitched it across. So I'm using up all those bits and pieces, and they're not they're now part of the journal. So at this point I'm calling them scrap tags, but I would like to have a nicer name than scrap tags, and I will do a tutorial on how I put that together. It would only be 5 minutes, but something fun. And often I save tutorial videos or craft with me videos when there is a good idea. So I have a little library of tutorials and videos. So if I want inspiration and I have the time, which I never do, but the thought is there to have the time to watch back over that video. So that's sort of the idea, I guess, with some of my craft with me's. Is sort of just those little ideas that you forget because you've got so many other things going on. At the back here, this is the other layered tag that I did a tutorial on, my first one. So that's on watercolor paper, and it has a couple of layers of lace with some buttons and beads and a bow and a little ruffle at the top. So I just stuck that in the back because I thought it was perfect for this journal. And I've also put a tag here with a paper flower, a little bit of stitching, and a cabochon. I'm not sure how to pronounce that because obviously Australians tend to hash up some of these beautiful words with our reasonably harsh language. I try really hard to use my teacher voice, I guess, when I do videos. But when I'm tired, I think I've recently done a video where I was quite fatigued from having to go through it a couple of times, and you can definitely hear the difference. Yes. I am very, very proud to be Australian. Please don't ever doubt that. I'm very patriotic, but our language tends to be quite, yes, I would say harsh. People think it's cute, which is good. I'll go with the cute factor. We're very opportunistic here in Australia, and if there's an opportunity to get away with something, we'll take it. We'll take it all the way. Okay, so that's the little leaf journal. To be honest, I will just quickly show you how similar the journals are, and we probably won't worry about the last one because the time it gets along. So similar cover or same cover, very similar tag at the front. I have probably mixed up the signatures, so that is, and there were bits of lace that I substituted. That's a little bit different in this journal, but you can see the ruffles the same. A different bird, that one is for Oklahoma. That is a wallpaper, the same sort of wallpaper I've used. Music page, even the same dangles. There's a different design on the wax seal, but at the end of the day, it's just as pink, it's just as frou-frou. I know these bead dangles are all the same, and it's got the same sort of onion skin, vintage onion skin paper. It has that flip up, and yeah, so it's probably just a summary of what is in the other journal. I was intending on only making one. Actually, I don't usually mass produce, not that 3 is mass producing, but I guess in the journaling scene it can be seen like that. I don't usually, that's different, mass produce, but when I was getting resources out and going through my stash, I just kept finding things in 3s, and it just felt really odd, and I thought, I do believe in universal signs, and I think, well, maybe that's a sign to make 3 journals. So I did. So that's how they've come about. And I will just wrap this one up. But as you saw, very, very similar. Same, but different. And I'm actually really loving this macrame string, yarn, thread, twisty stuff. I'm not sure, but I'm looking forward to challenging myself in using it in creative ways. And as I said, it does look really beautiful in my craft room. All right, here are the girls, ready to go. Thank you everyone for watching. I had beautiful sunny weather to film in today, so I didn't have to stress about big giant storm clouds coming over, but we are literally having a tropical storm at about 3 o'clock every day, every single day. It's odd because we actually have more Mediterranean style weather where I live, so these downpours are very interesting. Okay, thanks for watching. Bye.